You can have all the documents, you can have all the proof you want, and they will still deny you. If you're watching me and you intend to go for your own visa interview, even if it's tourism or student visa, even if it's not spouse visa, I would advise that you watch this video till the end, because I will be giving you some general tips to get your visa approved. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Yomi Oluwalade. If you are new here and you are watching me for the first time, and as you can see from the title of this video, I'm going to be telling you guys how I got my US visa approved, my US spouse visa. Yeah, that's the word. Yeah, so I'm going to be telling you guys how it got approved. So before I went for my own interview, I checked YouTube, I checked Nairaland. If you don't know Nairaland, Nairaland is a popular website, Nigerian news website. I think that's the best word to use. I checked everywhere to see if I could find someone who had gone for this particular interview, H4 visa interview, and particularly from Nigeria, and I didn't see. The only videos I saw online were mostly Asians, Indians. I didn't really get to see anyone from Nigeria to go for this interview. As soon as I got my own visa approved, I was going to make a video so that other people can learn from it. When I checked YouTube, it was student visa, tourist visa. I didn't get to see spouse visa as much as I wanted. If you're watching me and you intend to go for your own visa interview, even if it's tourism or student visa, even if it's not spouse visa, I would advise that you watch this video till the end, because I will be giving you some general tips to get your visa approved. Before I went for the interview, I had already gone for the student interview and I was denied. You guys, I cried so much. So I now went for the spouse visa interview and I was approved. Please be sure to give this video a thumbs up. Leave a comment in the comment section. If you have any questions, I'll be more than glad to answer your questions. So without further ado, guys, let's get right into the main content of this video. So my husband was in the US for a while. He was on a student visa and he wanted to work. So he petitioned for an H-1B visa and he was approved. So after he was approved, he had to leave the US to go to any other country, either Canada, Nigeria, any other country, to get the stamp on the passport. We decided that Nigeria was better. We tried to check for dates in the other countries, and somehow it was easier to get a date in Nigeria at that time. I think it was because of the visa class, so it was easier, and then we went for the Nigerian option. He went back to Nigeria, he got the visa, and then we had our civil wedding, popularly known as court wedding, in Nigeria. And after that, I was supposed to now go for my own interview because I was also able to get a date. So the first tip I'm going to be giving you for getting a date is to ensure that you stay up at night. It was easier for me to even get a spousal interview date. I don't know, maybe it was because of the visa category type and because people were not usually plenty under that visa type. But if you're a student and you are watching me, or if you want to go for your tourist visa interview, ensure you stay up late at night, because that's the best time. I'm just talking from my own personal experience. It might not work for other people, it doesn't work for me. I stayed up late at night. Also, I was in date search groups, WhatsApp group, Telegram groups, where they post dates, so you can join them, and it works by different people checking dates, available dates at their own appointed time or their slotted time. For example, I think when I was in the group, my own time was like 2 a.m. and 2 p.m. So I had to ensure that I was awake 2 a.m. and 2 p.m. because that was the time allotted to me, and we're like over 100 people in the group. So that means that everyone on the group was checking for dates at the particular time. For example, if I see that there's a date available at the time I check my own, then I'll put it on the group that there's a date so time. Everybody checks. So if you're online, you check, you're able to get the date. So that was what worked for me. If you're a student, because I know it's very, very difficult getting the dates. People even pay agents to get a date. You guys, it's not a joke. So yeah, back to my story. So eventually I was able to get a date for my own interview, and after that, the Abuja embassy shut down. Yeah, after the Abuja embassy shut down, and this time we were already legally married, and I was supposed to go for an interview. After it shut down, you guys, I cried so much. It was because of the terror attack that time. If you remember, in October 2022, they said it was because of the terror attack, and they didn't give it a definite date. And I was like, oh my gosh, this date that is so difficult to get, and then now they cancelled all the dates. They didn't even give a specified time. I had to schedule for the Lagos embassy to go for my own interview. So thankfully I was able to get the date. I was so happy. I got the date, and then I went for my own interview. I went with the required documents that I had checked online. So if you fill your DS-160, there was a place where they would always tell you, documents required, and it was only passport. And I'm like, how will you ask me to bring only passport to my interview? Just that? Is it that simple? But anyways, I went on Google and I checked for the required documents. If you want me to make a video on that, you can leave it in the comment section. So I went with the documents. I got to the Lagos embassy around 4 a.m. You guys. I was the first person to get to the embassy. I remember I was on the IAO on a pink dress. If you've been to the embassy, you know that the roads is like a bit wide. Not like wide, but you have to walk for a few minutes before you get to the gate. So while I was walking, my shoe was just doing come. And then the security was like, who is this person? It's just 4 a.m. in the morning. Like, why are you here so early? But in my mind, I'm like, I traveled all the way from Abuja, took my flights. You want me to stay at home? I was just thinking about it in my head. You want me to stay at home? And then Lagos traffic, blah, blah, blah. I'm thankful to my friend Lade. I was at her place. Shout out to Lade if you're watching this video. I was at her place prior to the time I left for the interview in the morning. So security, back to the story. So the security was like, why are you so early? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, now only me know waiting bring me come Lagos. But yeah, so I got there, I sat down, and after I sat, there was even this particular security. It was so kind to me, and it was just telling me, this is what you should do when you get there. This is what you should not do, this. And it was just being very nice. And I'm like, oh, thank you, sir. I sat down there until around, I think, 5 o'clock, like past 5. Then people started coming. People that were scheduled for that day started coming in. It's like a lot of people. I saw like a lot of people, and I was like, oh my god, she's about to get hot. So after that, they started calling. I think my interview time was 6:30. Was it 6:30 or 7 a.m.? I don't exactly remember, but I knew it was very early. I knew it wasn't 9 a.m. So after that, they started calling people in by the number. If you're for 6:30, they'll ask you to go first, and 7:30. Also, there was a lane for immigrant visa, and then another lane for non-immigrant visa. Mine was non-immigrant visa, of course. So I stayed on the line and then did all the checks at the gate. And it was so funny that if the security seen me, like, and the security person I was checking was just saying, Mama Pink, oh yeah, go there. When I got inside Mama Pink, I'm like, why was it calling Mama Pink? Probably because I wore a pink dress, like I said. So, and I was on IELTS too. So after we finished all the check and everything, got inside the interview. It took a while. I don't know, maybe they were not really on state that day, but they were like, I think about 3 visa officers eventually that came up, ladies. And then there was a black American lady too amongst them, but she was one that even did my thumbprint. Anyways, after we did all the check, they checked the passport, the 2x2 passport, they saw it was good. Then went now to the main interview. If you've been to the embassy, you know how much they deny people. They deny people, like, sorry, everywhere. From the different windows, you'll be hearing, sorry, I will not be approving your visa. This white paper explains why, blah, blah, blah. And I was where I was, my heart was just doing kim. But yeah, so it was my turn. No, even before it came to my turn, there were mostly people before me, like, that was standing in front of me. It was mostly students, and then I could hear the denials, and then I could see some people, they were approved, some people were denied, but it was mostly, I think it was 80-20. And then when it was my turn, I walked to the slab. I think it's a slab, that's the word. And then she smiled, and you guys already mentioned that I was denied a few months prior to that, my interview as a student. So I got there, and also we were just newly married, 2 weeks plus. So as soon as I got there, she was like, oh, she saw I passed her my GS-160 and my passport. So she was like, I see you're going to the US on an H4 visa. So what are you going to do in the US? I answered that I would accompany my spouse to the US. And she was like, oh, can I see your wedding certificate? So I showed her the wedding certificate. And then she was like, how long have you been married? I was like, 2 weeks and a few days. She was like, and then she looked up like, 2 weeks? And I was like, yes, 2 weeks. We've been dating for about 3 years plus. She's like, oh, and I saw like the calm on her face, like, okay. And then the next thing she asked me was like, so how did you guys meet? I wasn't expecting this particular question. And I told her how we met, like, oh, we met in Abuja after because I had my first degree in the Philippines, and I went back to Nigeria to do my internship in NYSC just to work. So I told her I met in the process of me trying to look for a place for internship. We met in church. I even mentioned the Redeemed Christian Church of God. She was like, she was just listening, just like, oh, that's so nice. Where was your first? She even asked me, where was the first date? I was like, oh, we had our first date in a restaurant in Abuja, one of the best restaurants. It was actually really one of the best restaurants. And I had told her, blah, blah, blah. She was like, oh, okay. She was listening, I told her all the story and she listened. So after that, she asked me to pass my husband's international passport. I gave it to her and then she checked. I think she was trying to check if the name on the passport matched the name on the certificate. So she checked, and then after that, there was a particular visa on my husband's passport that was being stamped. It was actually a PR, and then she was asking me about that particular country's PR, and then she was like, why does my husband have this on his passport? And I was like, I wasn't expecting that question, like, wait, what? But anyways, I told her that, yeah, he just got that so he could always go into the country anytime he liked it. That was why he got it. I don't even know where the answer came from because I wasn't expecting that. Then eventually, you guys, my interview took so long. If you've been to the embassy, you know it doesn't even take time. It doesn't take time, maybe 2 minutes, 30 seconds, they're done. But she took time with me. She was asking me questions. And then she was like, oh, she removed her headphones. And then she went to talk to our other colleague. We started talking about that particular visa on my husband's passport. I'm like, God, oh, God, I beg you. She asked me a question, then she came back. Then she asked me which date was the wedding again. I told her October 15. Then although I had the photo album with me, but she didn't even ask me for the photo album. Something was going to tell me to tell her that I have the album. I'm like, let me just shut up since she did not ask. So I didn't even give her the album. I had some other supporting documents also, like where I was working, all those documents that I checked online. She didn't ask me for that. So after that, what other question did she ask? Guys, let me check. I have the questions here on my phone. She also asked me that wouldn't I mind practicing in the US as a pharmacist? And then I was like, I knew that was a tricky question. Probably she wanted me to like link it with the home tie. That's another thing. If you're going for your student visa or anything, make sure you always have an home tie. Your home tie could be your spouse, could be your work, just anything that will make you come back home. So I told her, and the truth was that at that time, I had not even thought of practicing as a pharmacist in the US. I told her, no, I don't intend to practice in the US. I love my country. I told her, just the same way I came back after my first degree, I would also come back to Nigeria. Blah, blah. She was like, oh, okay, that's fine. Then she also asked me, I have been refused. She also asked me that she can see I've been refused for an F2 visa. Why? For an F1 visa, why was I refused? And the truth is, I don't really know why I was refused. Like, I have no idea why I was refused for the visa. Anyways, I told her that, yeah, I was refused. I don't really know exactly why. But so in my mind, I was like, I just hope this man would not think this is an arranged marriage, because if they find out that it was a fake certificate or anything, they would deny it straight away. But I told her the truth. I don't really know why. Like, that was the truth. Anyways, after all the questions and all the drillings, she now told me, oh, congratulations, ma'am. I'll be approving your visa. I was so happy where I was. You guys, I'm not even going to lie. I was praying because, I had the face mask. I was praying. I was literally praying under my face mask. I was speaking in tongues like, gosh, this woman, especially when she removed her headphones to go ask that other woman about the visa that was on my husband's passport. I was just praying. It was a lot of prayers. I prayed even before I went to the interview. Like, I was just praying because, you guys, US visa, you can have all the documents, you can have all the proof you want on this earth, and they will still deny you. So yeah, that was basically how my visa got approved. If you have any questions, like I said, just leave it in the comment section. If you want me to make a detailed video on the documents that I carried, I can make a video for you. Leave it in the comment section and then I will let you guys know. So that's it for this video, guys. Please, like I said, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment in the comment section, subscribe to this channel for more interesting videos like this, and I'm going to see you guys in my other videos. Till then, bye.